Hello there. I'm your dating and relationship coach for divorced women and women who have ended toxic relationships. Today, I'm going to discuss how you can stand in your power as a single woman. First, you must consider doing the inner work that is required to heal yourself so that you can become whole and fulfilled within yourself. If you do not have fulfillment within yourself, then you will be searching for fulfillment in other people as you get into relationships. That will lead to unhealthy, toxic relationships because it's not fair to expect someone else to make you feel fulfilled. When you do inner work, when you decide to do inner work, it is a really good plus if you include God in your journey. God will help you. He will strengthen you and He will guide you through the healing that you need. It's very difficult to try and heal yourself by yourself. If you do not already have a counselor, a coach, or someone to help empower you and instill positivity in you, then it's a plus if you could add that in addition to your healing and the inner work that is required to stand in your power. It's hard to stand in your power when you don't know who you are. You have to do the inner work to determine what it is that you need to heal within yourself to become fulfilled. And it's difficult to be fulfilled without feeling whole. You have to feel whole, like you do not need anyone. If you feel that you need someone, then know you do not have that fulfillment within yourself. So the inner work will require you to go deep. Trying to get into a relationship by putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound is just going to seep out on the sides and it's going to be a disaster. It's not going to work. You got to do that deep healing that requires some pain. It's going to be painful. It's going to be uncomfortable, but it is going to be worth it in the end. When I was in my marriage for 27 years, it was a very difficult time for me because I did not have fulfillment within myself. I met my ex-husband when I was 15 years old. I was still a teenager. So I really didn't know who I was. When I got into that relationship that became a marriage, it was a disaster because being with him, I allowed him to groom me and create me in the way that he wanted me to be. Because I wanted to please him. I wanted to make him happy. I wanted to be approved and accepted. I was insecure. I was naive. I was gullible. I was easily manipulated when I was younger. I wanted to be approved and accepted, and he did that for me. But he also had insecurities and low self-esteem, low confidence. So he made me into who he needed me to be so that he can feel comfortable within himself. So I really didn't have an identity when I met him. And for 27 years, the person that I was, it really wasn't my true self. So now that I've been divorced over 2 years, I feel that I know who I am now. And I had to do that inner work. I had to do that healing. I had to connect with God to find that fulfillment within myself. Because I did try to date after I divorced. And the person that I did date, it was really good. It started out really good, but it was very triggering for me because I did have wounds. I didn't just have PTSD from my marriage, but I also had childhood trauma that I was dealing with. And I really didn't know that I had all of those issues until I got into another relationship and tried to be in a healthy relationship. And it was very triggering because it helped me to identify some things that I needed to heal within myself. So, yes, I did have to speak with a counselor. And actually, I was talking to a counselor before I even divorced my ex husband because I didn't know what he was going to do when I divorced him because he was so aggressive and emotionally manipulating. So, I wanted to get out of the marriage safely. And that was my whole purpose of talking to a counselor. And then I determined that, oh, wow, I have some things that I need to work on too, because I stayed in that connection knowing that it was something wrong with the person that I was married to, but I stayed. And that was an indication of me not being healed myself. So the inner child in me that needed healing was actually the inner child that was connected to my ex-husband. As I started to grow in the marriage spiritually, because I did start to grow and I noticed that he was staying the same, I did realize that no, this is not what I wanted for my life. I had to break that generational curse, so I had to be the first person in my family to leave my husband. I had to be that first person. And that was not easy for me because I didn't have anybody to look at. I didn't have anything to reference to. I just had to jump out there in the world of unknown and just do it because I wanted peace so bad that I just took that chance. And when I did that, that was the best thing that I ever done in my life. But it was a time in my life where I realized I needed to rediscover who I was because I didn't know who I was outside of the marriage. And that journey of self-discovery, self-development, it was very difficult. It was very difficult for me because I didn't know that it was going to hurt so bad. And going deep and touching those wounds was very uncomfortable. And I see why people get out of relationships or marriages and jump back into another one because jumping into another relationship, it helps to soothe the pain, but it doesn't take the pain away. It really just enhanced the pain even more, and it add additional wounds because you have to heal that main wound that is causing that insecurity, that is causing that low self-esteem, that is causing that low confidence, low self-worth and value. You have to heal that wound. And usually you feel that wound in your stomach. It's in your gut. You feel it. It hurts when someone triggers you. You feel it in your gut. And it's easier for you to heal that wound by yourself. As long as you have someone with you, they're going to continue to touch that. Maybe not intentionally, but by things that they say, things that they do, they will touch that wound. Until you get that deep, deep healing, you will start to reveal who you really are, your true self. And it's hard to do that without God. God is so necessary in your healing journey. He is so necessary in discovering who you really are, who you are as a person. And he also helps you to receive that fulfillment that you are wanting within yourself. Because we all want to be happy. We all want to be at peace. We all want that perfect person, that perfect match. But there's no way to do that if you don't know who you really are. And if you know that you are not healed, if you know that you are not fulfilled within yourself, then you will be attracting someone else who is not fulfilled within themselves and someone else who need a lot of healing. So I'm not saying that we cannot get into relationships and heal together with our partners, but I'm saying that it does help when you initiate healing on your own and you know what wounds need to be healed, and then you get into a relationship with someone who is also acknowledging that they need to be healed. That's fine. You can heal together and you can grow together. If you already in a relationship and you both know that you need healing and you have deep wounds that needs to be healed, then you can do that together. But it's when you get with someone, you get into a relationship and you did not identify that healing needs to be done. That is the biggest concern in developing a healthy relationship with that person, because when you do not identify the healing, it spills off, and you start to, in relationships, you start to have that low self-esteem, low confidence, and that low self-worth and value and insecurity, and you tend to give off this needy vibe, this needy energy, and this energy of needing someone to validate and approve you, to make that wound feel a little bit better. Just reaching out to that person, needing them to touch that wound or put a band-aid on it or deal with it for you, sometimes that can push people away. So acknowledging that you need healing, acknowledging that something needs to take place internally within you, is a plus when you get into a relationship. And when you talk to God, you really get to understand the depth of your relationship with God as you connect with Him and talk to Him about your healing and what you need from Him. God will definitely hold your hand through this journey. He will make it a lot easier. So if you are trying to heal by yourself without God or without a higher source, then that will be a journey that I cannot really relate to, because I hadn't tried that without God. I've always had God in my journey. I had to get a little bit deeper in my relationship with God just to determine the deeper healing that I needed to do. But I can't imagine healing without God. It's not something that I can actually see happen. But if you are trying to do it, just know that God is always there. God is always there, and He can hold your hand through this, and He can help you through the pain that you are going through. And know that it's very difficult to stand in your power without having the help that is necessary to do that. A counselor, coach. I am a dating and relationship coach, and I can help you if you are trying to rediscover yourself and transform after ending a relationship or being currently in a relationship, and you wanting to work on yourself and help to transform yourself and identify who you really are and stand in your power and start doing things within your purpose and your divine mission, then you can connect with me and I can help you. I can help guide you along the way. But I am a coach. I cannot fix it, but I can guide you in the right direction so that you can start rebuilding yourself again.